Hi, finish my makeup with me while I tell you how I finally hung up my court shoes and quit my volleyball journey. Okay, so this goes all the way back to my junior year of high school. It all started in second grade when I first picked up a volleyball and fourth grade when I started club volleyball. I loved volleyball growing up, and I think I loved it probably up until my 15 season. I started off as a middle hitter for my first 3 years of club because I was always taller when I was elementary, middle school. It wasn't until 8th grade that I switched to outside. I was an outside hitter for my 8th grade year, I think, and then all of high school. When I got to high school, I was a freshman on varsity, which was super cool to hang out and be with all the older girls. I loved that. I think it was the club season after freshman year high school that I started to question if I really liked it. Girls were starting to talk about playing in college, and I never considered my volleyball career extending past high school. Then going into my sophomore year, I was in my sophomore year of high school season, and once I got to club that year, girls really started talking about where they want to go and play in college, and the questions started to come up with coaches and coach meetings, and you'd sit down every so often or every few months and have a conversation with your coach about where you want to go and who they should reach out to, or if you're posting on Twitter. And I literally at that point knew I did not want to play, but I think I was so scared of what my parents, more so what my dad would say, because both of my parents were college athletes and my brother was going down that road too. So when coaches would be like, where do you want to play or who should we reach out to, I literally would have a list of schools. I would tell them I don't want volleyball to be my main priority, so I'd want to go to kind of have a double life, but I never would just say I don't want to play in college, because the reality was at that point on where and how old we were, it's if there's girls on your team who do want to play in college and then you tell your coach that you don't want to play, then I knew I would be benched. So my junior year of high school season, we were very senior heavy. We had a lot of seniors, and I just got to see the bond that they all had together. But then they cut every other junior, whether it was a junior for varsity or JV, they literally cut every other junior. It just kind of sucked to see or to think that my senior season I'd be the only senior, especially after going through this junior season and seeing the bond that all the seniors have when they're all a senior at the same time. And things like senior night, I was just I don't want to be standing up there alone. I don't know. And then if I thought sophomore year of club was stressful, thinking about where I want to go to college for volleyball, junior year of club was 10 times worse because people were now committed and committing, and again, I just knew I did not want to do that. Every single practice felt like a chore. I was over it. I was done. I was so mentally and physically checked out. Also, the older that we got, the later our practices would get, so we'd have 2 or 3 hour practices on weeknights. So I can't remember when club starts. I think it's October or November, but I was in this club season, I think it was February. We were in regionals or something. I don't know. We were in mid-tournament, mid-game to be exact, and I'm pulled back passing. Again, I'm still an outside hitter, and the other team serves to me and it just shanks right off of me, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. Also, keep in mind we were up by a ton, about to win this game. So then they served me again, and I shank it again. They did this 4 times in a row. At this point, I have tears in my eyes. I'm like, I cannot pass this girl. I literally look at my coach and I'm like, I cannot pass this. I don't know. I'm in my head. I can't. Instead of subbing me out, he just pulled another person back, and I'm tucked in the back corner of the court. I kid you not. Props to this server. She serves it. The person who's in my spot or in front of me thinks it's going out. So she's like this. It literally drops right next to me in the back corner. A fat ace in my face. We end up getting out of it, but we lost that game, and I felt like a piece of shit in the huddle afterwards when we're all standing there and they're like, okay, we can do better, and I have eyes looking at me. I wanted to crawl in a hole in that moment. And then after that game, we had a break before we played again or before we reffed again or whatever. Everyone goes up to their parents and says hi or whatever, and I run to the bathroom when I'm bowling, and I walk out and my mom's like, what? And I was like, I'm done. I have to go. I hate this sport. I'm done. And my mom could not have been thank God for her. My mom was like, okay, let's go. I'm let's walk out. So I go up to my coach and my mom's with me and I'm like, I'm so mentally done and checked out. And he was like, okay, well, I'll see you at practice or something next week. Just go take your mind off it. And I was like, okay. And I never walked back into a volleyball court. I never walked back to practice, sent an email, sent this, that, and that was it. I never looked back. I never went to another practice. I hung up my court shoes and I didn't play senior year either. By no means am I giving anyone any advice or anything, because it was probably the worst way I could go about this. It's still one of my favorite sports to watch. My little sister plays and I love nothing more than to go watch, but my time was just over. Bye.